lower body. The first session we ran over the upper body. So today what I'd like to do is we're going to talk about putting it all together. But then Doris, I like your idea of focusing on some of those balance challenges as well, because you can incorporate upper and lower body together with balance challenges. So that's good. And then we can run over a couple of core things. So, okay, so let us start with, we're just going to sit in the chair, all right, and get our ball, all right, and let's just do a couple of quick little warm-up things here. I'll come over. All right, so get your ball and sit in the chair and just kind of start passing the ball around the back so we can kind of open up. And there we go. And then just go the other way. Good. Yep. Nice. Couple more of those. And then you can take the ball from this hip and just wave it in the air, kind of loosen up your shoulder, or if you just want to come here, whatever works for you. Oh, so are you talking about, are you talking about your rotator cuff? So no, so your ACL is part of your knee, but your rotator cuff is 5 muscles that surround the shoulder joint, but they sit underneath the muscle that you see, which is your deltoid. So this is my, you can actually see it on me because I'm a little dehydrated. So this is my mid delt, comes down to a point. Then you have your front delt here and you have your back deltoid muscle, and the rotator cuff muscles here, we'll do the other side. So the rotator cuff muscles are these little muscles that go on all sides of the shoulder underneath that deltoid muscle, and they help to stabilize the shoulder. So you've got supraspinatus, which is the one that does that allows you to lift your arm this way. It works with the mid deltoid muscle and it allows you to lift your arm like this. You then have a muscle called your subscapularis that sits under your shoulder, that is attached to your shoulder blade in the back. And then you have another one, and then you have teres minor, and there's a bunch of them that are in there. And when you can't reach behind, like I know that's one of your rotator cuff muscles is jammed or stuck. If you can only lift your arm to like here, that's impingement. That is your supraspinatus is trying to lift the end of your arm bone, right? It's essentially helping to lift your arm, and you get to a certain point and it goes and it stops. So that's where you want to think about probably using, so if your thumb is set up in what's called anatomical position, right? So your arms are down by your side. So that's why when you're working shoulders in the classes, if you have anything where you lift it and it gets stuck, you want to just keep your hand in the anatomical position. So look at that. So thumb up, right? Thumb up. Then when I go here, thumb back, right? So thumb back. So thumb up, and you can play with it. So watch. So if I rotate my palm down, the head of my arm bone rotates in the little cup in the socket, and then I lift, and if you have impingement, it'll be like catch, and it stops. Whereas if you just keep your thumb in the anatomical position, you're like, oh, things are moving. Things are moving a little bit more freely. So that's why I like to, you'll see me in class whenever I coach silver sneakers. I'm always going thumbs up or thumbs back because it just works better for me too. So that's the way, but yeah, so the rotator cuff, a lot of people tear their rotator cuff. A little catch. Yep. And the other thing that'll happen is the point of that deltoid muscle, so that big one that lies on the top it comes down to a point, that'll get spasmed right on that attachment point, like right there. You know, it's like right there. It'll be like, ooh, and it gets stuck. And this is what I do. I stick my thumb in it, I massage it, because sometimes, yeah, that gets stuck. So you can do your own self massage. That's a really common muscle to get spasmed, kind of depending on what you're doing. Absolutely, particularly when you start to lift things that are kind of heavy, you know, but and that's the other thing, is that I like even doing like bicep curls. You can do bicep curls leading the way with your thumbs, or you can rotate your hands forward and do them, but notice that we didn't rotate up here. We rotated at the elbow. So we rotated at the elbow and now we're pulling, okay? But for some people, if they have like tennis elbow issues, oh, doing this position will just kill. It'll be so hard. So if you ever want to just do your bicep curls this way, I sometimes like to do the twists where we then get those forearm muscles. We get those forearm muscles to play in there too. But yeah, the shoulder's a very complicated joint. There's so many muscles in it. There's so, yeah, I had rotator cuff surgery, but it was back in my 50s, and that, you know, and the doctor was like, you have a lot of years left, so let's fix it. And it was a large tear and it wasn't going to repair itself well. And he said, before it rolls up off the bone, we need to get it fixed. But it was a long haul back, like 7 months before I could actually do that. I mean, it was like this, yeah, and you need a good physical therapist. Anyway, okay, so, all right, so to review on the squats, come into the middle of your chair, all right, ball goes above your knees, check the position of your feet. So if your toes are out, what's going to happen is you are going to overuse your inner thighs to get up. So we want to line up the pinky toe with the outside of the heel. All right. We want the quads to do the work. So you're just gonna bring your chest forward and stand up and then sit down. So again, look at your feet. Are they turned out a little bit, or can you get the outside of that heel to line up with the pinky toe, and then just come on up and come on down. And it's not a death squeeze on the ball. All right. It's not a death squeeze. It's just the ball is there to keep your knees from doing this or from doing this. Some people will do that. So Doris, you have a tendency when you get up to try to revert to your inner thighs. So this helps to keep your knees pointed straight ahead. So this is great. This is really good. Yeah. So did you see how your knees wanted to come in? It was like, I'm going to grip with my inner thighs. So you just want to think, okay, I'm just going to keep the ball there. And why don't you spin that right heel out a little more? There you go. Then have a seat. Yeah, good. Yep. You might have to bring your feet in a tad closer, because yep, and then sit down. There you go. Oh, good. So you just keep on working that. Yep, good. So Celeste, your feet are set up fantastically now. You're doing great. So combo moves that we can do with this. All right. So now that you're conscious, okay, so pick up your ball. All right. So you're going to try to get up out of your chair, right? Whoa. Yeah. So you see, yeah, you're going to pick up a foot. There's your balance. You're going to step forward. Yeah. And you're going to come back, anchor it, lift it. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. Put it back down. I know Terry does some of this stuff on Fridays, and then have a seat. Okay. So where'd your feet wind up? Okay, so yeah, so what happened was your feet wound up in here. Yeah, so yep. Oh, okay. Think about your knees. Okay, come forward. Atta girl. Okay, reach down, take out the ball. Yep. Lift. Woo-hoo. Yep. Step. Good. See if you can turn that into a teeny weeny little lunge. There you go. Good. Come on back. Where'd your foot go? Good. See if you can lift it again. Ah, good. I know this is hard. Put it back down. Where did it go? This is where the mirror is your friend. Come on down and have a seat. Okay, we'll try it on the other side. So Doris, I liked your strategy of you started with the ball between your knees because you knew that your legs were going to go boing. So that's good. Okay, so let's try it again. So we're going to come on up. Yep. Okay, this time we're going to lift this. All right, here we go. Whoa. So you can feel how the hip has to engage. You're going to step forward. Yep. See if you can bend that back knee just a tad. Beautiful. Bring it back in. Lift it back up again. Woo. Nice job. Put it back down. Check your feet. Are they straight? And have a seat. Good, 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 good. Yeah, so the feet crept in a little bit, but okay, we're gonna try it one more time. What I'd like to do is draw like little outlines on the floor for you. This is where my feet go. Stand here. Okay, let's try one more time. Here we go. We're coming up. Knees, knees. Yep, we're gonna lift this one up. Balance. Woo. Good. Step forward. See if you can bend that back knee a little bit. There we go. We're putting stuff together. Come back. Put it where it's supposed to be. Lift it up. Good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Put it back down. Square it off and have a seat. Good job. So you just incorporated squat, one leg balance, lunge, one leg balance, squat. So putting a lot of the leg moves all together. So let's come on up now. We're going to open the feet out this time. All right. And you're going to try as best as you can to get your feet pointed more forward than this. So I'm going to try to get my toes going for it. Yep. So if you can go a little wider than that, Celeste. Oh, yeah. Good. Okay. So now we're going to bend. Yeah. Nice. Now pull this foot together. There you go. So your challenge now is step out. Notice the position of your foot. Oh, good. Oh, you guys are good. Bend. You guys are really good. And then come up and you see how you're slightly suspended and then pull it together. Good. Yeah. So now I'm going to do this. I'm going to come down. Yeah. So check out your feet. Take a look in the mirror. All right. Which way did your left toe? Good. And then come up together and lift. So we could do this with a weight or not, but we won't do it with weight today. Okay. So I'm coming down, I'm driving down towards my knee. Gorgeous. Watch your feet. Come up. Here we go. And Doris is taking it to the next level. Yes. So we're coming down. There you go. Okay. So look in the mirror with your chest up. So yep, bend and then come here. And if you can, yep. Ooh, this is good, ladies. This is good. Okay, step out. Big step out. Jump. Yes. Together first. Lift. Nice. Great job. Okay, so we're going to try it on the other side. So here we go. So first things first, just step out. Just step out. Nice. Then bend. Yup. And then pull together. Good. Yeah, 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 yeah. So you're going to find one side is more cooperative than the other. Okay, here we go. Now we're down. Watch the position of your feet. Yep. Yep. Good. And then come here and then come to here. So Doris, I'm getting the feeling that it's hard for you to bend your knees when we're in that wide open position. And I get it. So you just do the best you can. Down. There you go, Celeste. So put the ball in your left hand. Yeah. Down. Up. Up. And here we go. Let's try it again. So again, we're putting a lower body movement together with an upper body movement. Yes, we're doing it one more time. But we're moving in a different plane of motion. So when we move laterally, here you can sit down and check out your legs. When we move laterally, that's the frontal plane. When we move flexion extension. All right, flex, extend, boom, and down. Flexion extension, watch. Flex my knees, extend my knees, flex my knees, extend my knees. That's sagittal plane. So which plane of motion do we mostly use throughout the day? Flexion extension. That's usually how we move. Most everything we do is flexion extension. I'm going to extend my arms, flex my arms, right? I'm going to extend my knees. I'm going to flex my knees. That's normally how we move. We don't do a lot of frontal plane movement, which is why it's important to do it. Because you were talking before about fall prevention. And you know, it's really easy to get off balance when you move laterally. So that brings me to, it's much easier because we don't train that well. It's not our primary movement pattern throughout the day. We are much more extend and flex, extend and flex, extend and flex. You know, it's well, flex extend, sorry. It's much more that. And that's also why we build circles into things, because that's not, in fact, speaking of that, so we are going to do the, so we're going to put the sagittal plane together with the rotation plane now. Okay, so here's an example. All right, so I'm going to squat. All right, I'm going to come up and I'm going to rotate. All right, I'm going to, and you don't have to bend far if this sets your knees off. I'm going to squat and come up and I'm going to rotate. All right. Now, how about if I went down in a squat and I rotated at the same time? I bet things are going to change down below. Rotate. Yeah. So you can see the compensation for you is that you want to do this with your knee. So maybe maybe this will be it for you today. Yeah. So yeah. So plant your feet on the floor, come down and rotate. Good, Celeste. Yeah, and it's hard because what you want to do is you want to compensate with, oh, can I roll on a foot? Can I move a knee? But can you keep everything set up? So I'm going to come down and rotate. And this is hard. This is hard. Yeah, Doris, you're doing it. You're doing it. I know. And then come on up. So think about it. All right. I'm going to come down and there you go. There you go. Good. Good, 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 good. Yep. I'm going to come up. Yep. And down. I'm going to change sides. I'm just going to give myself a little more room here because I want you to watch what I'm going to do with my feet. I'm going to come up and step behind. Ooh, there's a balance challenge for you. So it's in your right hand. Yep. You're going to come up and step behind. And then I'm going to set my feet up again. I'm going to come up and step behind. It's hard, right? And then because the trick is this foot's not going anywhere, just the one that's behind. So now you're getting rotation into your movement. And boy, this kind of looks like the few times I've fallen. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. And then I'm gonna, yeah, so yep, yep. There we go. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And then I'll put it in this hand. I'm gonna step behind. So now I have rotation. All right. You guys are doing a great job with your feet. Keep it pointed. There you go. There you go. There you go. Good. And then other side. This could be a way somebody could fall over, right? It's like you suddenly lose your balance and do this. Well, how about this one? Put it in this hand. How about if you stepped across? It doesn't matter what you do with your feet, but just try, like practice stepping across. Yeah, stepping across and stepping across, because people get messed up with their feet when they do things like this. So step across, step across. The ultimate, if there's no weights around you, check it out. Step, Uh-huh. We don't want doors to fall down. Yes, step out, step in front. Ooh, step out, step behind. We'll see you in a minute. It's the karaoke moves. It's the karaoke move. Step out, step behind, step out, cross in front. Step out, step behind, step out, cross in front. It's the karaoke move. And they use it with football players all the time. They do this with them. So it's a very kind of out, and that takes, and so what's really cool, what you're doing, you're moving your hips and your feet, but your upper body is still facing forward. That's really good, because that's the whole idea, is that it's all about your hips. Very cool, very cool. But yeah, you got it, Celeste, that's it. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, so that'll wake up your hips. Okay, I know. We can really be Fantasia. We can really be Fantasia. So apparently our 1.5-year-old grandson really likes that movie. So apparently Theo, who's 1.5 years and is our son's son, he loves Fantasia with the dancing hippopotamuses. Yeah. Okay, so let's put the chair off to this side. We're going to do another one. Now, all of these exercises that we were just working on can be done with a weight in your hand. You could have done it with a weight in your hand. Okay, so now let's work on, again, we're going to go back to working in the frontal plane. Okay, so I'm going to tap out. Yep, I'm going to pull it in. All right, I'm going to tap out. I'm going to pull it in. Now I'm not going to tap. I'm going to lift. Woo. And then pull it in. So if you want to, you can just, if you need this, yeah. Yep. Yeah, just watch your weights. Thanks. Okay, so now the key here is you're going to bend this knee a little bit, and you're going to, this part of your hip has to have some of your attention, otherwise you'll do this. So now you're just going to kick it out to the side a little bit, grip the floor with your big toe, and then bring it back down. Good. And then push it out and push it in. Okay, push it out, push it in. So if this knee stays soft and you fixate your eyes in one place, I just lost my hip there, and then down, I can feel it when it goes, because whoops, or you start rolling on the wrong part of your foot and lift. Good. Now kick it forward. Yep, bring it back, kick it side. And here's the one that you like, tip it back. You might need your chair for this one. Yep. Knee lift forward. All right. Knee lift side. Yep. And kick it back. Yep. Good. Kick, and kick. Good. So cool here. Sagittal plane, flexion at the hip. Frontal plane, abduction with the hip. Extension with the hip. Very nice. Okay, how about knee lift, step down, find your railroad tracks, knee lift up. Well, it's okay. Out, step down, up, lunge back, railroad tracks, and up. Good. So that's working. So you've just put multiple planes together with multiple movements. Let's try it on the other side. An equal opportunity exercise here. We're just starting with the lateral taps first, just so you can find the floor. Tap and pull. Good. Tap and pull. Now see if you can lift it. Lift it. Whoa. And put it down. Good. Lift it and put it down. Nice. Yeah, so great comment. So this is about controlling your center of gravity. So for women, our center of gravity is down here. It's more down in here because of the shape of our hips. Guys, their center of gravity is up a little higher. So it's about controlling your center of gravity as things start moving around space, but it's also about making the connection from your foot to your ankle to your knee to your hip. So first thing is just lift off the floor and sense where you're gripping the floor with that foot. So think about if you can connect your big toe to the floor, all right, and then the knee is soft, and then think about, oh, I have to engage this, but I also have to kind of switch this on and here, because if I don't, and I just kind of let my hip go, then things aren't really going to happen. So I got to pull up in here and have a little bit of tension going through the mid section, and then I'm out and I'm down. And it's okay to put a finger on your chair. It really is. It really is. All right, so let's try. We're going to come forward. Yep. It's going to make your hip tired and you're going to go out. I'm feeling mine. I am absolutely feeling mine. And then I'm going to either touch or lift back. Now notice how when you go into hip extension, your chest has to come forward. That's just normal. All right. Versus when you come to the front, you can kind of keep everything sort of straight up top. But this, so think about if you stay straight, watch, that's it as far as I get. So if I want to get a little further, then I have to let my chest come down, and that's not a problem. How about a knee lift? There's a knee lift. Good. Here's a knee lift. And then there's a little curl. Yep. I'm going to do a big kick. Boom. And a big side and a big lift to the back. Good. And you should feel some work right there, right there. Absolutely, absolutely. So and one more thing about hips. So we had the tubing underneath us that one day, and we were doing the monster walks out. So the monster crab walks with the tube. Here, I'll go get one. They're fabulous for firing up. They're fantastic for firing up the hip. They're really, really good. Yeah. All right, Celeste, I got you one. These are so good. And I just picked up the green ones. The three of us could probably use a red, but I just picked up the green ones. So, all right, so the monster walk. You may have seen it cued like this, where you cross the handles and just kind of hold them at your hips. So the idea is that your feet are wider than your hips and the tubing is under your instep, not under the ball of your foot. And then you maintain that width of your legs and you just Frankenstein walk around with the same width of the legs. It's not easy. It's not easy. You feel the tension on the outside of the hip, which, Doris, I would love this exercise for you. I would love this for you because my sense is that your inner thighs are so all powerful, but that, no, but I think that if your hips were stronger on the outside, that your knees might track a little better. So, okay, so now you're gonna relax the tension, right? Okay, and then make sure it's under your instep. Yeah, thank you. Okay, now what I'll do is now I'll step out, release a little, push out, release a little, push out. And again, I think we could use some heavier tubes. Mine is very stretched out, but it's enough work for me right now. We're going to go the other way. So I'm going to push out against the tube, release the tension a little bit, push out against the tube, release it a little bit, push out, release a little, and push out and release. So again, it's always got to be under your insteps, never under the ball of your foot. You can do the Frankenstein walk. This, I think, is great. Or you can do the, what we call the crab walk, out, release a little, out, release a little. And if you feel super balanced, you can do these. You can lift and tap, lift and tap. But you do need some tubing underneath you. So, you know, you want to make sure that you're not in here with that. So cool. All right. So that's how to use the tube to work your hips. So we've done quads, we've done hips, we've done some balance. So let's see if we can put together some upper body movements with some weights. So let's grab our lightest weights possible. Lightest weights possible. Okay. All right. So, okay, so let's, I have one that's kind of challenging for you. Now, that's my, just excuse me because I hope it's not my son. Nope. Okay, good. I'm supposed to go babysit for their son today. Oh, okay. Hamden. They're down near Liuzzi's Market. They're down at the bottom, down towards Route 5. Okay, so we're going to work the middle of the shoulder, but we're going to work it incorporating it with a lower body movement. So I'm going to step forward, right? I'm in that, yep. Lift. Let's lift one more time, and then I'll pull back together. Good. I'm going to step forward with the other foot. My back leg can be straight. And I just lift, and I lift, and then I come back. This time I'm going to step forward, and I'm going to bend both my knees as best as I can. Doris, if you want to stay with that locked out back leg, you go ahead and stay with that. That'll work fine. This time I'm going to bend, and I'm going to come down a little lower, and I'm going to pull out 2 times. Good. And then I'm going to step back into my squat position. And step forward with this leg this time. I'm going to bend both knees. So my back heel has to come off the floor a little bit. I'm going to lift. And I'm going to lift. And then I'm going to come back. Cool. Let's try it on the other side. So just for purposes of at home, the lower I get, the more it becomes the back of my shoulder exercise. So if I don't bend that much and I just lift, it stays sort of working more like the top of my shoulder. All right. So again, it depends on the depth. If I start here with the locked out back leg, it's just a lateral raise, top of my shoulder. If I step out and I bend my knee a little bit and I turn it into a lunge, I'm starting to activate a little bit of the back of my shoulder. But if I drop down and I work it from here, this is the back of my shoulder. So just a couple of different ways to do it. It's pretty hard to bend the knees that deep. So that's, okay, so now let's do an upright row. So we're just gonna row right to mid-chest and down, right to mid-chest and down. I'm gonna start with my feet close and watch. I'm gonna step out, yep, yep. So actually, you can go, yeah. So I'm going to keep my upper body straight. I'm going to step out and row. Yep. And then I'm going to step out and I'm just going to pull. Yep. So your feet can kind of go, if your feet want to toe out a little bit on this, it's fine. If you have the ability to keep your feet a little bit more forward, that's really awesome. So this will be a wide squat with an upright row. So we're going to step out, down, and up. We'll go that way, down, and up. So putting 2 movements together. This is the movement for the top of the body. This is the movement for the lower body. So now your brain has to put it together. Upright row, squat, and back together. Upright row, squat, and back together. Let's try 2 more. Upright row, squat. I know. And upright row and squat. Good. So again, it becomes much more complicated when you say, I want the upper body to do something together with the lower body. That's always the hard part. All right, drop one of those weights. All right. Grab your dumbbell like this. You're going to come to the outside of this knee, right? And then you're going to chop. Your challenge is, can you rotate and lift? Put your foot down. Can you rotate? Can you lift? I know it's hard. Can you rotate? Can you lift? And one more, can you rotate and lift? Good. Let's try it the other way. All right. So I'll just start with just the rotation. Just the rotation. Here we go. Now I'm going to bend my knees a little bit, rotate and lift. Wow. Yep. Bend my knees a little bit, rotate and lift. So today, upper body, lower body exercise together with a lot of balance. And this is when you're putting everything together. Yes. All right. Pick up the other weight. All right. We've run over bicep curl to shoulder press. We'll put it together with the lower body. Sit in a chair. Come up, press. All right. How about this? Down, bicep curl, press. Down, bicep curl, press. Good. So again, a little wider with the feet, ladies. A little wider with the feet. A little wider, Celeste. You got it. Here we go. Good. Bend. There. Push. Bend. Push. Good. Bend. Push. Both feet on the floor when you squat. Both feet down. One foot up. Last one. Both feet down. One foot up. Awesome. Great job. Great job. All right. Seated core. Seated core. We'll finish with that. Good job. Good job. All right. Whew. So, seated core, I'm just going to go a little bit sideways. Now, I have been doing this in my classes, but I just wanted to kind of run over it. Okay, so core bracing. All right. That's the foundation of working the core. So the core bracing is that you're going to pull your belly button in, all right? You're going to make sure that your shoulders are under your ears, all right? And so when you kind of tap around here, it feels like there's a little tension, but it's not like locked down, all right? So the belly button stays in. So yeah, well, we all have a little mush at our age. I mean, even if you're thin like me, there's definitely a little padding in there for sure. It's just part of the aging process. It's all related to our hormones. We just exactly the lack thereof. It makes for just that little, like that muffin top stuff you can grab onto. Doesn't matter what your weight is, doesn't matter what it is, the belly fat is there. So okay, so here's the deal. So you're gonna pull the belly button in. All right, your shoulders are down. Now, as you start to recline towards the back of the chair, you want to keep that belly button in. You're gonna tap the chair. Uh-oh, my battery's going. And then come up. You guys do that. I know my battery is going. Okay, I'm back live now. So I figured out that's when the battery's going because you hear it pop. Okay, so you are essentially doing an ab. This is like a moving plank. So belly button in, I'm coming back. I don't feel this in my lower back. And then I come forward. All right. So this time I'm going to come back. I'm going to, yep, belly button in. I'm kind of pushed. I definitely not done this. So my belly button is in. So I got a little bit of a C curve to my lower spine, just a small one. Shoulders in position. I'm going to come back. I'm going to find my sticky point. It's like, oh yeah, my abs woke up. They woke up, and now I can start adding challenges to that, right? So I can start adding knee lifts to it, right? But I'm bracing. I can start adding rotation to that. All right. So we're in a reclined position. We're not resting on the back of the chair, but everything is on. Like if you went, oh, everything is on. Good, 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 good. So you do have to be willing to sit more towards the front of your chair to get this, because you do have to get the upper body somewhat opposite gravity. All right. So right now gravity is pulling on me this way and my abs don't have a lot of tension. All right. But as I go back, my trunk now is having to overcome the pull of gravity. It's like, oh, and it had to switch on. It's like, oh, because otherwise I'll just fall to, I'll just fall to the back of my chair. So brace, belly button in, I'm coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back, just about to touch that chair, and then breathe, because you can feel everything around in here is tight. You can tap your ribs. It's like, it's all tight. Yep. And that's the basis of all the ab movement that we do. It's that bracing. And if you think that you can come in on Tuesday mornings at 9 o'clock, Susan does a fantastic class that is all about core bracing, flexibility, mobility. I'll be teaching it next week for her. We work with the balls. We do all kinds of things. We work on planks, but you can do them off of your forearms. You do not have to do them off your hands. And we have people of all ages that are in that class. So it's really a good class to try. If you think, yes. Oh, we will miss you. Well, then come in for silver sneakers the other days. Good, 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 good. All right, we did it. Like we put together upper body, lower body movements combined. We didn't use a lot of weight today because you're going to do it tomorrow. But and the balance puts all of it together. By practice. And in the case of when you have these kind of misalignments, like what's going on, because you do have your knee problem, it's trying to work on getting the joints lined up in the right way so that you develop those muscles. Yeah, and just being super conscious about where your feet are, what your feet look like. You know, that's been the hardest part about Zoom for me this past year is I have no clue what people are doing. Absolutely. I see some arms waving around in space, but I have no idea what's going on. And now that people are starting to come back into class, now I'm beginning to see, oh, so, and you can tell people with knee problems because you start using other muscles to make your movement patterns work. So you start doing this to get up out of a chair. Otherwise you can't get up out of a chair, you know, but it's just great. So, and the other guy that works a lot on correct um, joint type of alignment. We have that pain-free yoga class. Yes, he is all about, like, he'll come over and tap on you, go, nope, your knees aren't set up at right angles. Your feet are too close. Your feet are too wide. He's great. He knows a lot about it. He knows a lot about it. He's very good at getting shoulders to unstick. He has all kinds of things that he does. But anyway,